Well, frankly, when your leadership sucks, the best thing you can find is a scapegoat, a distraction, right? It's a classic authoritarian move. You fuck everything up, and then you blame the least powerful, most frightened, desperate people you can find. You ever notice how Christians love to feel like they're being persecuted, right? This is a gross generalization, of course, not everybody. And maybe in some parts of the developing world, if you're in the Islamic Republic of Shitstanistan or whatever, maybe there's some pocket where there's not religious freedom and there's 100 Christians there that are being downtrodden. Maybe, I don't know. But in the real world, where we live, the United States, the places where Christianity is at least a plurality, it's really kind of a nonsense argument, right? They're taking our rights, there's a war against Christmas. It's total nonsense because, let's be frank, we've been the biggest source of oppression throughout the world for at least the last 1,000 years, right? But there was actually a time where Christianity might have a legit complaint. So it goes back to the ancient practice of scapegoating. You've heard about scapegoating. It started with the ancient Hebrews, where they would take a scapegoat, an actual real goat, and the holy men would pile on all the sins of the entire village, metaphorically, onto the goat. And then they would take the goat out into the middle desert and tie it to a rock or stake it down or something so it couldn't leave. And they would leave it out there to die from exposure in the desert, and all their sins would go away with it, and you had substitutional atonement, and hey, look, our sins are washed away, but you guys are still assholes, so fuck you. Well, it's interesting, because anytime something goes horribly wrong, the jackass in charge starts looking for a scapegoat, right? Well, in ancient Rome, in 64 AD, that jackass was Emperor Nero. You had the Great Fire of Rome, like the Great Chicago Fire, except it was in Rome in togas, and 3/4 of the city gets burned down in this great fire. And as an aside, there's actually some historians that say Nero might have set that fire himself on purpose, because there was a little section of the town that he wanted to clear out for his own personal palace. Maybe, maybe not. It's not important. The point is, people are furious, and everybody is up in arms. They're so angry about what happened. And Nero says, well, it wasn't me. It's not my fault. In fact, it was those freaky Christians, those guys with the weird robes and the sandals and the magic rising from the dead and the prayer hands. They did this. They burned the place down with all their holy righteousness and all that shit. And for the first time ever, the Jews were like, hey, they didn't blame us.
From here on out, it's going to be nothing but smooth sailing.
Anyway, he blames the Christians. And almost immediately, you start having this persecution. They get burned alive, or the famous thrown to the lions in the Colosseum, stuff like that, getting turned into human tiki torches. And the reason is, well, frankly, when your leadership sucks, the best thing you can find is a scapegoat, a distraction, right? It's a classic authoritarian move. You fuck everything up, and then you blame the least powerful, most frightened, desperate people you can find. So, what's the point? The point is, here we are, 2,000 years later, same circus, different clowns. We think Nero's dead, yeah, maybe, but really, he just changed his outfit. He wears a suit now, and maybe a little lapel flight pin. He's got a podium and a teleprompter now. Still full of shit. I mean, you can look around. You don't need me to tell you it. The empire's on fire, right? Inflation, all right, whatever. Inequality, climate chaos, political chaos, crumbling schools, rotting infrastructure, billionaire overlords hoarding so much wealth. They're like Lord of the Rings dragons on Xanax. But we don't blame the rich. We don't blame the corporations. We blame migrant families who risked everything to come here for a better life, right? We blame trans kids for just trying to exist in fucking peace. We blame all kinds of LGBTQ people for daring to live their lives. And it makes sense why. They're different, right? They don't fit the mold. They don't worship the right gods. They don't dress the same. They don't look the same. They don't clap like trained fucking seals at your stupid political events, right? Just like the Christians of Nero's time. These non-conforming, inconvenient, weird, easy to throw under the bus people. It's the same script over and over. The script is always us versus them, right? Those people are ruining the country. Those people don't belong here. Those people are the problem. No, asshole, you're the problem. It's you and your flaming fucking dumpster fire of a policy book. The thing is, the people in charge would rather vilify some trainee swimmer in Pennsylvania than admit that their yacht-owning buddies are the vampires bleeding the fucking country dry. And the kicker is, I guess this will take time to come to fruition, but just like in Rome, the more you persecute people, the stronger they become. Because you can crucify their movement, but you can't kill the idea. You can outlaw somebody's life, but you're not going to erase a truth. And history will always, always remember the tyrant as the villain and the scapegoat as the martyr. So, I guess congratulations to you modern day Neros. You're not solving anything, you're just writing the next chapter in the world's longest, stupidest book. How power always picks on the little guy. But you know what? In the end, the little guy always outlives the empire. Like, share, click subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, what he said.